Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Local Business Spotlight. My name is Diana Lockie, and I'm a real estate agent here in the Cary and Apex areas. And today, I have a special guest on my show. I have Yannick. He's my friend, and also he is a recent author. He wrote a book. It's called the Farm-Nursery Handbook. And since I found out, I said, okay, I have to read this book, and I want to talk to you about it because this is very interesting. So welcome, Yannick.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome to the show. Thank you for agreeing to interview on my podcast.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to talk to you about, so what made you decide to write this book?
Yeah. Well, historically, I've been always a huge fan of nature and farming and plants, and that's what my career has been around, was plant propagation. And my plan for the future is to start a farm next year, hopefully. And as I was looking through Amazon to find a book that could help me start a farm, I figured that I was needing something more of a handbook, more of a checklist type of thing that I could follow. So I basically decided to write the book that could help me start my farm. So it's a book for myself, but I figured it could help also other people interested in starting a small farm or a plant nursery or both. And so for me, it's going to be starting next year, and I think the second edition of the book will include some personal history, personal life experience, maybe some mistakes that I'd like people not to do.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, so you made it for like a small farm, small vegetable farm, and also a nursery?
Yeah, so small vegetable farm would be maybe under an acre, so it's a fairly small farm. I worked on a farm for 2 years on a small farm, and it's definitely doable, and I think it's the way to go, going smaller, especially in the US, having small farms. And 1 acre as a maximum size, and then adding maybe a plant nursery to it, because you already have the infrastructure as far as the high tunnels and the greenhouses and the plant propagation tools. So you could do both the farming where you produce vegetables or cut flowers, and the plant nursery where you produce potted plants that people can transplant in their own place.
Yeah. And I see you also talk about doing aquaponics or hydroponics also in a greenhouse.
Yeah. And I currently have a hydroponic system at my house here in Cary, and it's quite the science meet the farm. It's really interesting system to build and to use. And I've been growing greens like Asian greens or leafy greens year round in the hydroponic system in my greenhouse. So I think it's a tool that farmers can use. Like vertical farming, for example, could be an addition to a farm to get extra profit.
Yeah, and that's pretty productive, I hear, the hydroponics.
Yeah, because you can go up vertical in the hydroponic system, so you gain space, and so you can grow more things in a smaller space.
Yeah,
which for a small farm is important.
Yeah, so that's awesome. So how did you come up to, so you say you've always been around plants. So tell me, where are you from?
So I'm originally from the mountains of eastern France called Jura. So it's not the Alps that everybody knows. It's the older chain of mountains right north of it called Jura, where there's a lot of cows and cheese and wine making. And I grew up on a dairy cow operation. My grandparents had a dairy cow operation, so I was surrounded with green pastures and cows. And after I grew up in the countryside, I moved to Lyon, which is the second largest city in France, where I did my studies at the university. And I studied agronomy, which is the science behind agriculture. So I learned about all of that, plants and animals side by side, and I decided to go with plants because I didn't necessarily enjoy working with animals, animal testing and all that things. So plants are harmless. I can't hurt them, and they grow and they make me happy. So I'll keep at it.
Yeah.
And at the end of my the university degree that I have, there was an internship, and I did that for a big company, a big biotech company in France. And after a couple of years, they relocated me to the US. So So I came here, I was 23 years old, and I was by myself. That's when I met you.
Yeah. Yes,
at work. And yeah, my entire career so far, 15 years in the industry, has always been working with plants. And I have 2 years of farming, actual farming. I was an apprentice on the farm, so I did everything on the farm. And that's when I realized that was going to be my retirement plan, was to have a farm.
Yeah.
Maybe. And so I kept going in the science, working with soybean, or currently working with Christmas trees at NC State. And we'll see in the future, but once I have my own farm, I'm gonna grow a lot of different things.
Yeah, how interesting. Yeah, so you've been always, like, pretty much all your life surrounded in farms. And so yeah, it's a nice place to move here to North Carolina. It's the US, but we're not in a large city, so it's, we're in the South. We still have like a big city experience, but then you drive somewhere and then you have a cotton farm or a corn farm, pumpkin farm. So we still have that,
Yeah, the triangle is like 15 minutes away from everything. Like when you're in the triangle, you can get to Raleigh, Durham, Cary, Chapel Hill, and then countryside.
Yeah.
So I love this place.
It's nice to keep those farms. Is your new farm going to be in Wake County, or are you going to
Orange County? So we're moving to Chapel Hill.
Okay.
Because right now in Cary I have 0.26 acres, and that's quite small. I have a greenhouse and a hydroponic system and all that, but I need space to put plants in the ground. And my wife has some land in Chapel Hill, so we're going to build a house out there.
Oh, how wonderful. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's very nice. Yeah, same. Yeah, I'm glad that we still have those small farms here. Even in Wake County, we still have small farms. And in Chatham is beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you, so what motivates you? What keeps you going?
I thought for the longest time that it would be work and money. But I've changed jobs several times in my career, trying to find the perfect job and making more money or less money. I went from $50 an hour to $10 an hour on the farm, and I was the happiest on the farm. So what keeps me going, really, I realized, is seeing plants grow around me. And I love to be part of the propagation aspect of plants, so making lots and lots of plants from seeds. Or my expertise is tissue culture, so it's when you do micro propagation in the lab, where you can grow from one seed to thousands and thousands of plants. It's very challenging, but it's very rewarding as well. So that's my happy place. If that's what's keeping me going, is being surrounded with green, luscious plants that are happy as can be. And then I like to give them away to my friends and family. So it's just the love that keeps on giving.
That's nice. I love plants too. I have a big garden at home.
Oh yeah?
I have a greenhouse too.
So do you have a green thumb?
I do. Well, I guess, So I also, I propagate my own. I have a lot of vegetables every year. And it's a lot of work, but it is rewarding, though. It's rewarding,
Yeah, absolutely.
So I really appreciate that. So and I will take some notes from this book, because it was very interesting to me, since I'm also in that kind of in the hobby farm. It
doesn't have to be necessarily for a business purpose, but growing things makes you happy.
Exactly.
And this book has a lot of, I try to make lists of plants, because that's what I was looking for. I'm like, I want to be a farmer. What do I grow? So I made several lists of different things that you can grow, with instructions on how to grow them. So if you're interested in any of those, you can just look through the book and learn how to grow those plants.
Well, great. Thank you so much for this interview.
Absolutely.
And with that, that concludes our episode of Local Business Spotlight. And again, my name is Diana Lockie, and I'm a local real estate agent here in Cary. And if you have a need to buy a house this this fall we have some good deals out there. There's houses that we can negotiate on, even though the interest rates are pretty high right now, but we still have a way to get people into a home. And if you're looking to sell in the spring, I'm here for you also. If you need to prepare your home, we can talk about that. And with that, thank you.